Good evening and welcome to this new weather update for today. First of all, we're going to start with the thunderstorm outlook. I just spent a little time looking at forecast soundings and stuff, but I decided to use windy as a bit of a visual thing here. And we're using the EC model as it's pretty accurate out to a few days. So as anyone that's looked at the radar today would know, currently there's a lot of thunderstorms in a line, pretty much where these colours are. There's a line of storms stretching straight across from just inland of Broome down all the way to the south of South Australia. That's all slowly moving to the east, which with this low pressure system here. So this low is expected to rapidly move to the southeast, and if I just pull it forward a little bit. And as you see, the lines of thunderstorms, even though they will ease up tonight, will get dragged along as it moves along. So we expect this storms to go along on the leading edge of that low. Now tomorrow, it doesn't look like there's going to be too much storm activity over the southern of Victoria, but inland along the border, there's a chance of a few storms around there. Obviously, this is just based on the UC model, so there could be some storms outside of that area, but for the most part, it will be further inland. So that's the thunderstorms with that low, and as you can see, the low quickly disappears, and by tomorrow afternoon, it's out in the Tasman and away, and it's taken all that storm activity with it. Now, another low pressure system starts developing over WA around Thursday's time. And this will start developing more storms around the inland region of WA here and the southwest part of Northern Territory. So as this low develops, it will develop a front along here, which hopefully the modelling will start to show as we just move forward. And along that front, we'll see some more storms, probably a bit more widespread than the current stuff. So this will bring another bout of storms to the South Australian region on the western side of the state. And as we move forward, it should bring some storms on the weekend to Ceduna, even. I can't even talk. And around the Adelaide region over the weekend. Now, some of these storms could be severe over the weekend, just like they are. There's a few severe storms at the moment. There's warnings current that Renee has posted. So once again, these could be for damaging winds, possibly large hailstones as well, but mostly damaging winds at this point. So definitely keep an eye on that. And in a couple of days' time, I'll do an update and see how it's going, because this is like Saturday, so it's a few days out. And if anything tells us, forecasts can change with thunderstorm activity. So a couple of days' time, I'll make up another video to have a look at this, have a look how this is tracking. Now we're going to move on to the wind part of the forecast. So this low pressure system is causing quite some gusty storms around South Australia, near Ceduna and inland from there. As I said earlier, there's a current thunderstorm warning at the moment that Renee put out. But as we move forward, so this is the gusts outlook from the EC modelling. as we move forward and it strengthens, we'll begin to see quite substantial gusts affecting southeast South Australia and into Victoria. As you can see, you've got 80 kilometres and over 100 in some areas, especially along the coast. This is on the tail end of the low. So as I mentioned earlier, this low pressure system is going to be actually quite fast moving and move off. However, its back end is where the worst of the wind is actually located. So even though the center is disappearing quite quick, it leaves behind. So there's a center out in the Tasman, east of or southeast of Tasmania, but its tail end is still bringing some quite strong winds to the mainland here. So as we can see, later in the day on Wednesday, out in the Port Phillip, gusts of over 100 kilometres are possible, even in Melbourne up to 90. And along the peninsula here, got 110. So it's going to be quite windy tomorrow. I'm pretty sure there's warnings out already. Just have a quick look. But if there's not, they will be very shortly. Yeah, they are. Good. So yeah, the warnings for these damaging winds are already out, and they could be quite destructive in places. These are equivalent to a Category 1 or 2 cyclone in the tropics. No, it's not a tropical cyclone. A lot of people hear the word cyclone and they automatically think that that's what I'm talking about. This is just equivalent to. So it's going to be pretty windy. Now, if we quickly have a little look at the actual gusts, normal winds, so the sustained winds are not going to be too dramatic, except on those coastal areas where we can see 64 and things like that, and out in the open water. If the Spirit of Tasmania is out, it could be a bit bumpy with 82 kilometres out there. So the sustained's not too bad. It's just the wind gusts here that it could gust quite strong occasionally. So definitely be on the be aware of what's going on and just prepare for these wind gusts. Hopefully it doesn't happen as this is showing. That's what we like to think, but these are obviously just warnings to tell you what could happen, what is expected to happen with this quite intense low pressure system that's going through the bight here. But the good news is that it is quick moving. So as quick as it comes, it's gone again. So by Thursday, and this is again the gusts, winds have returned to just normal, gusts of 20, 28 degrees around the Port Phillip. Around there, gusts of 22. So it's a very quick moving system. So the actual severe weather that it brings will not last more than about 24 hours at most before it's gone, comes and goes. Okay, finally, we're going to get into the rainfall part of the forecast. So I've just checked the other modelling, and they're all pretty much the same as EC currently. So this is the 7-day. No, actually, it's 5-day. It's lying to me. Let's change it. There we go. Okay. So we're doing the 7-day, and so these storms that are affecting South Australia aren't expected to bring too much rain. Most rain we should see, let me give me a little thing, there it is around the Adelaide area, where over 7 days, which include 2 outbreaks of storms, would bring around 62 mil, which would be nice for them guys. And around the southeast, a little less, but between like around, got 15 mil there. down to around 40, 50. So a bit of a nice top up, not anything drought breaking by any stretch of the imagination, but for late October, in South Australia where rainfall drops off quite a bit, that's a nice drop, so can't complain there. The amounts will be similar across in Victoria, with the high country seeing the most with around 70 mil, and northeast of Melbourne, up in the hills there, be around 60 odd. Across in New South Wales, along the ranges, we could see around 83 mil, maybe even pushing up to 100, possibly. Just all depends on how the rain happens. Now, up in the tropics, which normally is coming alive more, we had a good stretch of some good rain. I saw about 70 odd mil in the first half of October, but it started to die down a bit. And as you can see up here, around Townsville on the northeast part of Queensland, there's a bit of rain there. Not a huge amount, but a bit to continue, especially around the ranges there. And up in where I am, up in Darwin, there'll be a few storms possibly in a week's time. Mostly it's going to be pretty dry. So you'll see the mouse going everywhere, but it's because I'm actually in a different tab of Internet Explorer. So I'm just checking something as I'm talking. So later in the week, up in the Northern Territory, storms are a possibility of increasing again, especially early next week, but doesn't seem to be much happening around anywhere in the tropics except for that northeast. But even up there, it's not really anything to get excited about, really. So yeah, it's not a huge rainfall except down the south there, but even down there, it's not a massive amount, but it's a good amount for the region in October. So I don't think anyone really will be complaining down there. Any rain's better than no rain, really. Some storms across the inland around here. Won't be, again, with a lot of outback storms, you don't see a lot of rainfall. With them, it's mostly gusts and big drops of rain. Most of it evaporates before it even reaches the ground. So yeah, we've got some storms and stuff that would dump a little bit of rain around the centre. But overall, it's a pretty dry week coming up for most of the country, except for the south and the northeast up there. And towards the end of the period, we should start seeing a bit of storms up in the northwest top end, increasing a little bit up there. Nothing too dramatic at this stage, but the thing with up here is it looks like it's not going to rain, and then suddenly you get 40 odd mil rain in like 15 minutes. So it's really hard to give you an exact figure up here because that actually happened the other day. Didn't look like it was going to be much, and then it absolutely tamed down for 15 minutes. So, well, that's all. That's the video for now. As I say, in a couple of days' time, I'll put out an update. And but yeah, for now, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and look out for the next one. That will probably I will do on Thursday, unless anything dramatic happens in the meantime. Have a good one.